Hello and welcome to the Ward 6 Council Show. I'm Meg Salyer and I'm delighted to be here today with Glenn Gentile, who's the president and super be-all for the Oklahoma City Museum of Art. And we're celebrating a grand occasion this year, Glenn, so I want to kick off with you telling us a little bit about what's happening in 2012.
Oh, thank you for that grand introduction, Meg. It's lovely. 2012 is the museum's 10th anniversary in downtown Oklahoma City. And that is a spectacular achievement and milestone for the institution. I wasn't here in 2002, but I know the impact that the creation of a cultural entity like the museum can have on a city. And downtown Oklahoma City really began to change from what I've been told and what I've learned in the research I've done pretty much around that time in 2002, with a lot of people coming in and seeing that great things were happening in Oklahoma City and in particular downtown.
Glenn, it's almost impossible to believe that 10 years ago that vision of the board and Carolyn Hill's dynamic leadership were able to save the Center Theater downtown.
Unbelievable.
Create this iconic building with that magnificent Chihuly sculpture in it.
Just so beautiful.
And all as a private effort. I mean, I think from time to time, people forget that this wasn't one of the original MAPS projects, but the museum, in fact, is 100% private effort.
Which goes to the community and the generosity of the community, the leadership of the community. People wanted the museum to succeed, and succeed financially and grow and prosper. And indeed, that's exactly what has occurred. So you look back and survey the landscape of 10 years, a decade of programming, of outreach to the community, of education programs, of a film program that is known nationally, that is producing great programming for the community to enjoy. The exhibitions have been international, regional, national, local. It's really exciting, and it's exciting for me as somebody who is not from Oklahoma City to come here and say, wow, this is great, and look at what's happening around us. We're here, we're across from City Hall, spectacular, City Hall Park and Bicentennial Park and High Tower building, and right across the street, less than 2 blocks away, the Devon Tower, 900-foot tower. I mean, it's absolutely stunning to me, and I as an individual get to witness it, and I keep telling people, come down and witness the transformation. There are so many things happening concurrently, and some of them are completed, some are in process, some are on the table to start, but it's all happening at once, and there's so much to do. In fact, I was writing about this in an article that's going to be published shortly about all the things that are going on and why you should come downtown on a regular basis, because it's just great.
Absolutely. I said one of the things that's happening right now, and I apologize for this, is the street in front of the museum. And as I tried to come to City Hall this morning, I found I couldn't get there even the normal route I do. So people are going to be able to use the street on the south side of the museum in both directions.
Yes, the city and Project 180 and the museum and different players are putting the information out there. It's about having fun when you come downtown and seeing the construction sites and navigating it. That's an exciting thing to do, and I was laughing about it because I get to look out my window and see the mounds of earth building up and then coming down, and I was joking. It's like it's land art happening in front of me continually for a month or two.
Attitude.
So come down and witness that experience. I can walk now 2 blocks over to the spectacular Myriad Gardens, look up at this incredible tower, and know that, just a few blocks away is this new highway that has opened, section of the Highway 40, which is great to drive on. You go under these underpasses, you see the new pedestrian bridge, you see the boathouses on the river, and then you come to the museum and have lunch in the cafe, which as well as I do. The cafe is great.
It's fabulous. Yeah. I said it's become my living room. Yeah. If I'm not there a couple of times a week, something's wrong.
It's nice to know that.
And the food is fabulous, and it's busy in the evenings, it's busy at lunchtime. I just, the myriad of things, literally, I take advantage of at the museum are wonderful. But I want to not maybe dwell on the past, which has been fabulous, but talk about the kickoff of this 10-year celebration started New Year's Eve.
Yes. We wanted a colorful celebration to kind of step into the new year, into 2012, which is our anniversary year. So the kickoff was to reinstall the Dale Chihuly collection, which launched the museum in 2002, reinstall it in a new way so that people could rediscover and connect with Chihuly in a way they hadn't. So there's this wonderful familiarity and slight change. So it's kind of like rediscovering a city, rediscovering a person, rediscovering a collection or a work of art. So that was the concept. And with that, we added a supplemental exhibition called Chihuly Northwest, which is Native American-inspired vessels, along with Pendleton manufactured textiles and Edward S. Curtis photographs from Dale Chihuly's personal collection. And that augments the entire show on the third floor. So on New Year's Eve, we had over 2,200 people come to the museum in partnership with opening night, Oklahoma City Arts Council, and it was amazing. I was looking out the window of the cafe, and there were tons of people walking around and coming into the museum and going to the next venue, to the library, and moving around. And I thought, this is spectacular. Every space in the museum. We had OKC Improv in the theater. Sold out for the 4 performances throughout that entire evening. The cafe had its best day in its entire history on New Year's Eve. We had 2 or 3 exhibitions opening and closing at the same time, plus the permanent collection. There was the Bruce Benson band and Curtis Johnson band playing. So it was just filled with kind of an inspiring cultural experience and a social cultural experience, which is what I'm interested in. It's the mix of saying hi to a friend, and saying, hey, how are you? And let's do something together and maybe have a drink or a bite to eat, but experience this brilliant museum and everything that's in it and happening together as a community.
It has also, from a design standpoint to me, it has stood the test of time so beautifully. The interiors, everything about it just looks as fresh today as it did, but I love your description of the reconnecting with the familiar Chihuly people, but seeing it in a new way, and the way the boats were set up, and it feels comfortable, but it also really invites you back to see it again.
Thank you, Meg. That's what we want. We want people to feel comfortable. It's Oklahoma City's living room in a way. Come in and enjoy. And I think you're right. Alan Brown, FSB Architects, did an incredible job of designing the museum, of integrating the past and the present and the future. Everybody who comes to Oklahoma City, and I have colleagues coming in from around the country, that's one of the things that I want. I want people from other cities who I have relationships with to come to OKC and see the museum and walk back, go back to their communities and say, wow, you ought to see that museum, it's incredible. And it is. Everybody comments about the spaces, how great they are, how easy it is to move through the museum. And I
Glenn,
agree.
I think you have a new affiliation with some really important museums around the country. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Yeah, the museum and I, as a director, recently were accepted into a national group. It's the Association of Art Museum Directors. And that is a group of just over 200 museums and museum directors who are connected through their practice. It represents museums in virtually every state and the best museums throughout all the states. So we're in really good company, and I'm pleased and honored to be a part of it.
Well, what a fine honor for our city, and
yeah,
you should be at that table, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what's happening during the course of this year. I think the official anniversary date is in March.
March 16th.
Alrighty.
And on March 16th, we're going to have a free weekend. So it's the 16th, 17th, and 18th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The museum will be free and open to the public, which will be really great. There'll be wonderful new activities through education. Everything we're going to do this year has a little bit of a twist to it for 10th anniversary celebration. So that's what we're, the exhibitions, education programs, and coming into the museum free, generously underwritten by, so many wonderful supporters that the museum has. We want to be able to thank the community for 10 years of incredible support. And this is our small way of doing that, saying, join us over the weekend, bring your family, bring your friends, and know that it's free access.
Great. And talk about some of the upcoming exhibits.
Opening, now that Chihuly is open and Chihuly Northwest, the upcoming exhibitions, we have a Triple Crown opening on February 15th, which is a members preview and public opening sequenced in. So the evening of February 15th, we have Princely Treasures, European masterpieces from 1600 to 1800 from the Victoria and Albert Museum in London.
Goodness.
Now that's coming from Australia.
Okay.
It was a 4-continent tour, and it is arriving in Oklahoma City. We are the importer of record, and that will open on the 15th. We also have the 5th installment of the New Frontier series for contemporary art, which will feature Julie Heffernan, who is a New York-based painter, very well respected. She does these type of Renaissance, highly complex, beautifully painterly self-portraits of things. So it will be self-portrait as her as a landscape, or as another person, or as a mythological creature, or something of that sort. But really beautiful. I think it will go very nicely with Princely Treasures. And then we have a new program, which is video art, which will be projected in the lobby on a new screen we have. And that's in the kind of the free area of the museum, where you can walk through and experience an opportunity with art if you just happen to be walking past inside the museum, going to the museum shop or the cafe.
Right.
So all three of those exhibitions open concurrently, along with a lecture that evening. And then after that, we have our 10th anniversary celebration exhibition, which is called Fusion, Glass in the 21st Century. That's being curated by my two curators on staff. And then there'll be additional New Frontiers exhibition. We have a museum coming in, an exhibition coming in from the Brooklyn Museum, which is Modern Masters. I think people will really enjoy that, because it looks at incredible works from the Brooklyn Museum's collection from American 20th century painting largely.
Excellent.
So it's quite fantastic.
Well,
yeah.
I think everybody can tell, number one, by the enthusiasm in your voice, and
you.
by
Yes,
this giant list of things that are happening this year, that we have such a treasure in this museum.
We do.
It's,
we do.
It really is just part of this new heartbeat of downtown Oklahoma City. Incredibly exciting, and Glenn, I want to say, you said thank you to the citizens, and we want to say thank you to you. Personally, number one, for kind of taking on the heritage of this place. We all had such great respect for the vision and the hard work of Carolyn.
And we adore Carolyn, and she's with us still.
She is with us
She
still,
is.
and I know she's
Absolutely.
smiling
We honor her.
at all of the great
That's
things
right.
that are happening. But to step in and really take our beautiful place to this new level in every area you've described, from the fabulous exhibits to the quality of the museum to the beautiful things in the gift shop to the film program. Just the list is very long, but thank you to you and to Shannon for coming to Oklahoma City, choosing this to be your home, and for really getting so engaged with the community. It means a lot to all of us, and we're grateful. And so we just want to encourage everybody in this 10th anniversary, come down to the museum, come for the free weekend, and see all the things there are to share. So thank you, Glenn, very much.
Thank you, Meg.
Appreciate it.